Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Michelle Samuel, and I am your host for tonight's session. And if you are just joining us, you have joined us on our EWC St. Lucia Champions Symposium, where we are connecting with our champions of the Entrepreneurship World Cup St. Lucia, the young individuals that are using innovative means of solving today's solutions, which could be tomorrow's promising ventures and companies, which could actually contribute to our economy. Our youth are doing some amazing things. And this event is part of the Global Entrepreneurship Week celebration of activities in collaboration with the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce for this year, 2021. I am so glad that you have remained with us. And we have a very special guest that we're going to be talking with today. She is one of our champions, and you're going to get a little bit of a backstory as to how she got started with this venture. You're also going to learn what propelled her to enter the Entrepreneurship World Cup St. Lucia competition, and of course, what she's doing now and what we can expect from her in the future. So, I am going to call upon or bring on stage my special guest, and her name is Miss Amber Rose Harris. Welcome, Amber Rose, and how are you doing this evening?
Good evening. I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning. I mean, my time frame is completely off these days. So good morning. It may be evening, in some other places of the world who may be watching us, but it is morning here in St. Lucia. So today, Friday. So Amber Rose, as I stated before, you are a very bright, young, and shining star. And we want our viewers to sort of get to know who you are, especially if they have never seen you before, heard of you before, and if they've never seen the event where you competed. We want to let them get to know who you are. So let's start with that. So, my first question to you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Amber Rose? And then we'll get into the business side of things. So let's get to know you as an individual. So, who is Amber Rose? That's my first question.
Okay, so like you said, my name is Amber Harris. I am currently 17 years old. I just graduated from the Leonis Comprehensive Secondary School. As of right now, I am unsure of what career I would like to go into in the future. Um, but I know that it's something health-wise in terms of helping other people um, to overcome their disabilities, sickness, that kind of thing. Currently, I don't attend school. I took a gap year because I'm still very young compared to other children who left school together with me. I just turned 17 this month. So I am currently taking a gap year to just kind of decide what I want to do, where I want to go, to just have a solid idea of what really inspires me to move forward. Um, Personality wise, I would say I am very goal oriented. I am passionate about what I do, what I love. I am very passionate. I am kind of said I love to help others. Yeah.
Okay, so you've given us a synopsis of who you are and what it is that you're about. And you mentioned something that caught my attention, and I'm going to start off with that. So you said that you recently graduated from the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, and as a recent graduate, of course, as we all know who have been in your shoes, there's a tremendous amount of pressure on you as to the question, what next? What are your plans for the future? And I know these are questions that even you yourself, may have asked while looking in the mirror or looking around you and, potentially looking at what's going on, especially now in the economy with the pandemic going on. What do I do next? So it is a very fitting question to ask. And I'm actually happy that you were honest enough to say that you're not sure what direction you are to go into. But let's take a look at something that you said. You said you're passionate. You're passionate. You love to help people, and that came across when I first met you. In 2018. Many years ago. That came across definitely. And at that time, you were still, at the Leon Hess Comprehensive Secondary School, and when I first came into the school, my intention was to introduce a venture, a project of sorts, to the students, to the entire school body, for anyone who would have been interested to participate in this venture. But it wasn't just a venture for you to participate in and just have fun. It was also a venture that was a problem solving venture. And it definitely did speak to helping the environment because it was an environmental issue that we were battling at the time. And I want to find out from you when you first heard about this venture, and we're going to, of course, share with the viewers very soon what that venture is. When you first heard of this venture, what struck you to say, I want to do this or I want to be a part of this? Why did you come forward and sign up for it?
Okay, so that was 2018. You came to the school, introduced it. I found it to be very interesting, and I'm somebody who likes to be challenged. I like to take on challenges and see what I can get out of it. If I can come up with something new, come up with a new solution or something of that sort. At growing up from primary school, I always used to love taking part in science fairs and these kind of activities. Anything where I had to build or just mix stuff just to make something. I remember as a toddler, my mom always used to say she's not buying any more toys for me because I would find screwdrivers around the house and I would open each and every single toy and just try to put it back together. So I have always been one to just take up a challenge. So I thought, this is something new, something I haven't seen before because in science fairs it's always like the same ideas, like a volcano with vinegar, baking soda. So I found it to be something different, something that could really challenge my mind. So I thought, oh, why not try to enter, see what you can come up with. And the fact that it was necessary for your idea to be an invention and not something that was already that has already been done before was even more challenging to me because I'm like, okay, what can I do? Something that has not been done, something that somebody has not thought of before. So it was very, very challenging, very motivating for me, something fresh that I could have done.
Excellent, excellent, Amber Rose. Thank you for sharing that. And of course, the venture that I am referring to, that we're going to share with you, is where the story is going to begin, and that is with the next big inventor competition. Now, for those of you who do not know, the next big inventor competition is the brainchild of our very own St. Lucian born US based inventor and entrepreneur, the Cut Buddy owner, and that is Mr. Joshua Esnard. It was his baby. It was his way of trying to give back to the community after his successful landing of a deal with his icon, Mr. Damon John on Shark Tank. And he wanted to give back to St. Lucia in a meaningful way by reaching out to the very people which he once was and he connected with when he was young, because he was around 13 when he invented the Cut Buddy, and he didn't even know he had invented anything. He just knew that he solved his own problem. Lo and behold, several years later, this problem exists with every other person that is like him, and this solution is working. So he wanted to ensure that our young people here in St. Lucia have an opportunity to be challenged to come up with life hacks, inventions, and innovations, just as he did. And he wanted to provide them with a platform through which to do this. And the next big inventor, or NBI, as we like to call it, was born. We partnered with Algas Organics and the owner, Johannes Dujon, and he agreed to come on board with us to also help mentor the students that will be participating in this venture. And the venture is to come up with an invention, innovation, or life hack to solve the problem of sargassum. And that was an issue that was plaguing our beaches, plaguing our shores. It was really, really, really interfering with our tourism industry because of the fact that when this thing sits on the beach, it has a stench, a rancid stench that would chase persons for miles. The residents were complaining, so far less for our visitors. And we challenged these young students of the Leon Hess Secondary School. That's where the pilot project was selected to be held, because it held a near and dear place to Joshua Esnard's heart, as do mine, because I'm a past student. I'm an alumni of LHCSS, and we wanted to use this as a pilot project to allow the Leon Hess students to showcase their talents and skills. Thankfully, we had the endorsement of the Ministry of Education at the time, who came on board with us and supported us in this venture to allow the students to participate. So, Amber Rose, we're going to start here. This is where your story began. So, at this point in time, you knew that there was a competition. You knew that it was dealing with sargassum seaweed. I am going to allow you to have the screen to take on the stage and to share with us, you know, what drove you to create what you created with the sargassum. What was the vision, the motivation behind it? The vision, that you saw when creating it, and just give us an idea as to what it was like in the competition, and then we will move on to when you then transitioned into EWC. So, Amber Rose, you have the floor. Please share with us that journey on NBI.
Okay, so I took part in NBI when I was in Form 3 at the time. To me, it was an ideal time. Form 3, you are fully accustomed to the school, the workload, everything. You're not quite into CXC as yet, writing exams and having to study day and night. So it was really an ideal time for me. So my team and I joined the competition with two other students who were in my class. So we thought of what we could have done with sargassum seaweed. And I mean, we searched Google, spoke about it for days with no clue what to do, because Google, okay, the ideas we got, like food from seaweed and these kind of things, were not really something that really appealed to us or challenged us in the way that we wanted to be challenged. So we decided we could try to do biofuel from seaweed. And the idea started to come. Why biofuel? We know global warming right now is an issue, and biofuel is the fossil fuels we use right now basically contribute a whole lot to global warming. And our biofuel is like a cleaner alternative to fossil fuels. So it was, we wanted to not only be able to impact the world in one way by making an innovation, but we wanted to have a positive impact not only with our innovation, but with on global warming and other issues that the world was facing. Um, During the competition, I mean, there were a lot of setbacks. Not only, well, with my team, we had a lot of issues, but we overcame them. It was difficult. Many times I felt like quitting, I felt like giving up, I felt like my idea was not good enough. But I am very happy that Miss Samuel was there to push me, to keep me going, help me with advice. I had other teachers just giving me help. So I'm very grateful for that.
Awesome. And thank you so much for sharing that story with us. And that brings us into what you created, biofuel. But what did you call it? What was the name of it?
It was sub biofuels.
Sa Biofuel. So that was the name of the company that your team came up with. And you went into the NBI competition and you actually won an award, for NBI. You passed with flying colors. Joshua Esnard was very, very proud of you. But then we hit a stumbling block, which was minors are not able to establish companies. And that was a major stumbling block for us. And that is still a major stumbling block, for youth today. There's only so much that we can do to help them. so that we can take them beyond, and sort of take them to market. But until, this policy changes, there's only so much which we can do, and sort of waiting around for things to catch up with us. But then you didn't stop there. Something else, came your way. Something bigger than NBI. I mean, something that should have scared someone, like you, a young person like you. Like, why me? That's not for me. That's what let the older people do that. Let the more experienced people do that. But no, that was not your reaction. You went full speed ahead into it. So tell me, like, what was it that really propelled you to enter the Entrepreneurship World Cup St. Lucia competition, knowing that you'd be going up against experienced entrepreneurs older than you and more experienced than you? What was that experience like?
It was scary. Honestly, it was scary. I would not sit here and tell you it was, oh, I was not scared. It was scary because people, I mean, the people I went up against were so much older, so much more advanced. They knew what they were about. I was still like practically testing the waters, but with the help I received from you and from the other people who were there with me, I must say I was able to do it.
You were, and you were so impressive, that though, and let's just let people really understand how far, Amber Rose came. I want to share, something on my screen here. I want to pull it up so that persons fully understand who you were going up against, because you were not, it wasn't just you going up against one, two, three companies. You're up against several companies. And I'm going to share my screen right now so that persons have an understanding as to how many persons you were up against. So let me just pull this up, right? So when you can see my screen, please let me know. Okay, can you see my screen now, Amber Rose?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so based on what you're seeing there, you went up against some big name companies. When I say big name companies, I mean like big name startups. I mean, you were up against these individuals. These were the top nine. We call them the top nine because they were the best of the best of the best. We had over 100 persons apply, over 100, right? And after 3 levels of screening, well, I mean, they're screening in the initial stages, but after 3 levels of competition on the back end, these were the companies that made it to the forefront. So they were the ones that would go to the semifinals. Okay, so we had Othniel Technologies, we had Advanced Company Group, Slister, Engage, Different Dot, Carib Quick EP, Star Biofuels, Wake Express, Eco Creations. These were the top nine. And of course, as you can see, Star Biofuels is in the top nine. Now, this does not tell you in terms of the numbers what they placed. That's just how many of them that were there that were the semifinals. And Star Biofuels made it to the semifinals. But not only that, then you had to compete against all these other companies, these other startups, for the finalists, right? Because only the finalists would get to pitch at the national finals and then win the awards. And you ended up going all the way to the final. So I just wanted to share that with our viewers so they can understand who you were going up against. So you're going up against a number of companies and you made it to the finals. Okay, you were going up against two gentlemen. You're going up against two gentlemen, and these were strong competitors. And at the end of the day, you came away with a title. You actually won one of our awards. And what award did you win? Can you please let everybody know?
The People's Choice Award.
The People's Choice Champion. Yes. So this is what we're here for. We're here to celebrate our champions. So Amber Rose is our 2020 EWC St. Lucia champion for the People's Choice. Yes, she's the People's Choice champion for 2020, and we are immensely, immensely, immensely proud of her. And Amber Rose, I just want to ask, I just want to find out from you. Like, you won this award, but it didn't stop there. I mean, what what's next, for Star Biofuels? Oh, and before I forget, Amber Rose was also singled out to participate in a Commonwealth Summit, a women's summit. And she participated in that as well. Her video was featured in the summit. So congratulations on that achievement as well, as a result of her win at EWC St. Lucia, People's Choice Champion. So can you tell us what is next for Star Biofuels, Amber Rose? You've accomplished so much. So what is coming up? Do you have any plans, or are you just waiting to see what happens? Tell us what's going on with Star Biofuels and you, of course.
Well, right now the hope is to start off testing and registering the business, but I have not been able to do anything because, like you mentioned before, registering a business in St. Lucia is very difficult because I'm currently a minor, and also in terms of funding for testing, I will not be able to do it all alone.
Wow, wow. And you mentioned something that I'm hoping is going to be changing very soon. The policies which does not permit a minor to start a company, to register a business, especially when it is something that is viable, especially when it is something that someone wants to invest in. But because of you being a minor, there are limitations to what you can do. You cannot really take this thing to market. You can't really produce at the scale that you would like to produce because of this, So we're hoping that with time, our policymakers in our local government can see the benefits, especially since entrepreneurship is now the new answer, to unemployment, that they can understand that it has to go all across the board. It's not just saying entrepreneurship, it's also changing the policies that entrepreneurship goes with, or that goes with entrepreneurship, allowing the persons that actually have something or are working on something, that they can do it wholeheartedly, legally, and of course, get the support and backing of our very own. So, Amber Rose, I am so very, again, proud of you for what you've accomplished so far. I mean, initially, you stated that you're not sure yet what you want to do, but do you believe that Star Biofuels has a future, or do you think it is something that, again, we have to wait for it to catch up, with it?
I believe that with the right motivation and the right supplies, that if I push myself, I can really make something out of Sabara Fuels. It's not something that I would want to just sit on. It's not an idea that I just want to have hanging around, but something that I would want to develop in the future.
Excellent, excellent. So, Amber Rose, again, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me this morning, this wonderful Friday morning. Global Entrepreneurship Week is all about persons like you. And all of you who are watching us this morning, as you can see, you're watching EWC St. Lucia Champion Symposium. This morning, I'm sitting with Miss Amber Rose Harris, our 2020 EWC St. Lucia Champion, People's Choice winner. For the theme for this year: inspire, connect, mentor, and engage our nation's youth. This is what we said we're doing. So we are celebrating Amber Rose this morning. So Amber Rose, congratulations on your accomplishment. Congratulations on taking the fall and taking that battle and running with it, and not even knowing whether the door will be open for you on the other end, but just having the courage to do it. Congratulations. And
Thank
do you
you.
have any, anything to say, any credits that you want to give to anyone who may have, had a hand in you, being where you are today, the persons who assisted you, so that you can be um, the champion, you can be one of our champions, and looking forward to at some point contributing to our economy. Are there any persons that you would like to make special mention of? This is your moment to do so.
Well, of course, I'd like to thank you because you have been there with me from the very beginning, even before I knew I had that kind of potential. You have been there with me. I would also like to thank Mr. Joshua Esnal for the opportunity and the teachers from the Leones Comprehensive Secondary School, my principal, my parents. I would just like to thank everybody who has been there for me.
Well said. Well said. Well said. All right. Well, Miss Amber Rose Harris, you had the last word. You are one of our youth who we are inspired by, we're connecting with, and we're looking to mentor and engage with you and continue the journey as you move on with Sorbio Fuels. And as our 2020 EWC St. Lucia champion, we are proud of you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Amber Rose, thank you so much again for joining us. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of your morning. We have some other people that we're going to be speaking with today, and I'm hoping that you're going to stick around for it. So I'm going to send you backstage and we're going to come back. So, Amber Rose, again, um, good evening. Oh, and another thing, if you would like to connect with Amber Rose Harris, you can just reach out to us and we will be able to, of course, facilitate that connection. You can reach us on Sludterra, that's SLUDTERA at gmail.com, SLUDTERA at gmail.com, so that we can facilitate the connection with Amber Rose so that you can see how you can support her. All right, Amber Rose, thank you for joining us. Good, have a good morning. We're going to send you backstage.
You as well.
All right. And we are done with this particular interview. So, again, those of you who are watching, you are watching the EWCC Lucia Champion Symposium. Inspire, connect, mentor, and engage our nation's youth. This is our event where we are showcasing our EWCC Lucia champions from 2019 to 2021. We just spoke with Miss Amber Rose Harris, who was our 2020 People's Choice Champion with her company Sarbio Fuels. And we will be showing a couple of clips of our competitions in our later on in the event. You'll be getting some clips of what the event was like, and of course sharing the links to those events in case you missed it so that you can watch it again. So please stay around. We have another guest that we're going to be speaking to shortly. Please stick around with us.